of the Kindred Twitch.
Yeah, RNG, yesterday they banned out Azir, Ezreal, and Maokai. They basically said, Flash Wolves, you guys are going to play an early game composition because we're going to remove some of the scaling components and then pick a big scaler ourselves in the Ryze and the Kindred early. That's what they did. Now they only have one first pick here. And they do like their Kindred, and they take on one of the stronger top laners out here. Echo on Flash Wolves are heavily focusing Wuxx here.
Yes.
280 carry bans, Twitch and Sivir.
Lucian, do it. Dare you.
I mean, Wuxx can play plenty of things here.
Yeah.
It's just things that Flash Wolves as a team don't seem ready to face. Overall,
Kindred.
I have to respect that champion because it allows them to buy so much time. And if there's one team that you don't want to give time in team fights, it is RNG. But with all these bans, it leaves open Mata's Alistar. And do you really want to do that?
No.
SwordArt, fantastic Alistar player himself, so he knows how strong that champion is.
They feel like they're ready to fight against it. Literally, that's what that tells us. We are okay with Mata getting his best engage this tournament. We'll see if they're right. MMD and Karsa to now choose for the side of the LMS.
Yeah,
as
and
Flash Wolves lock in.
That's where we have to question the draft overall from Flash Wolves because the Kindred Twitch combo is incredibly strong. But
you take it apart, right,
Yeah.
with one ban.
Take one out, not both here. At least the Alistar has to be stronger than an isolated of those picks here.
Yeah.
They do trade it for one of the S-tier champions in their roles, and that is obviously this Maokai here. And Graves has moved, from my opinion, from the third place spot in the jungle all the way to second, just slightly just under Kindred here. So Flash Wolves, while they sacrifice the Alistar, they get a good deal here though. They trade very well, and RNG now have an option to pick up an early Azir. That's what we see a lot of blue teams do.
You don't say.
Second rotation, just go like, you know what, counter pick, I don't really believe in that. I just have a strong champion here. What's the name of the game? Team fighting? Yeah, I'll lock in this Azir.
Mlxg saying, yeah, I'll take that for you. You don't even have to pick your own champion. I'll deliver it. That Xiaohu feeling very comfortable right now.
They may just wait on a rotation though.
They may. With all those 80 carries as well, Lucian's going to be picked up on the other side. That leaves NL up for his Ezreal. Kalista still had that play. Haven't seen too much Kalista though in this tournament. Royal never give up, definitely taking their time here. Seeing the Maokai, seeing the Graves, knowing they're going to have to go toe-to-toe at some point with that composition. And that composition can get very big throughout the game. So we figure what they would have gone with. Still the Azir and the Lucian.
No, I like the pickup because Xiaohu, not only is Azir just a good pick in general, he's also just a fantastic Azir player overall. If you go back and watch the playoffs, he had some really good individual plays that then led to one team fight. In RNG, not only do they seem to communicate well and are on the same page, they always have at least one member that stands out. And you can already, for this tournament, imagine so many plays that Xiaohu has made, Mata's Alistar, some of the combos he's had. So they have already, with just 3 picks, 3 comfort picks, they're already sending a clear message to Flash Wolves. This will not be an easy game.
It's already terrifying to see Azir and an Alistar. That guarantees that if somebody gets knocked up, you're going to get shuffled in one direction, wherever Xiaohu wants you to go, and focused by the team. Picks here now to come in again for the LMS's side. Flash Wolves seeing now the Lucian and the Azir. I figure Caitlyn actually might be something that NL goes to.
No.
He can play very safe on that champion. And Maple's gonna take the Ryze.
Yeah, no more silly 1-3-1 shenanigans. This will be a big team fight. Although if the Ryze runs teleport, yeah, you can still 1-3-1. But the goal is still that team fight that comes out. Flash Wolves, they aren't quite sure what to pick here, so they go for the Caitlyn. Caitlyn has a range advantage with Lucian in lane. With a melee support, they can still fill in the blanks later for SwordArt. Do they go for the Tom Kench? There's a lot of focus and follow-up. Perhaps something ranged oriented. You could even lock in a Bard here if you're a ranged support player. A Janna too. Like, they have a lot of tools right now to kind of make Xiaohu's life miserable, because if they just connect MMD on a flank, he gets to him. You can actually just one-shot him altogether because there's no really big resets on this fights here.
I actually really like the choice of that Bard. Once one person's locked down on this side of LMS, you're getting trapped, you're getting twisted, advanced, room prisoned. And having that all started off by a Tempered Fate would be very easy to walk up and finish.
I mean, it's one hypothetical here. Plenty of support makes it work.
There's so many. Still have the Janna up as well.
Yeah, there's just a triple.
You want to get this team out of your face.
Yeah, triple hybrid frontline. You have the Maokai that's a super tank, and both Ryze and Graves are a little bit tanky overall. So if you can enable them. With a Morgana, for example, too, just a lot of pick chances. You can throw out Binding, see what sticks, and then follow up here. You have the Black Shield too, to avoid like really big sweeps.
And he draws the Morgana. It's going to be the lock-in. We now see the compositions for both teams. Very interesting for SwordArt to go back to on that. It's Alistar, Braum, and Thresh for him this tournament. We've seen the Morganas come in, but only every so often.
Yeah, and on paper, this means RNG should look for a lane swap because that's a rough lane to play.
Oh, boy.
I think Wuxx and Mata are skilled enough to go in even CS though, but the burden of the outplay lies on them because it's a very easy laning pattern for Caitlyn Morgana. It can shove, 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 and the weakness to shoving is obviously a gank or a surprise Alistar, but with good reactions on Black Shield, that becomes a lot harder to pull off.
Double teleport. Once again, we see Xiaohu taking the cleanse to Looper's TP. And really, on the side of Royal, Looper's maybe just the only guy you need to TP. They've been on point. He's creating, starting, and finishing plays for the team. He's had a great tournament. And it looks like Royal's going to try to go undefeated once again here against the Flash Wolves. It's going to be a very tough matchup, but the Flash Wolves are looking to get revenge. Going to be tough when Royal already owns the stage.
Yeah. 1-3-1 versus 4-1. Clash of styles. Flash Wolves have shown that they are not the best at 1-3-1. It also was their downfall yesterday. They played with an assassin in the mid lane though, so it's a different flavor.
Yeah.
But they needed a Zed on the side lane. They didn't get him there. Now they have the Ryze. They can also opt into a 4-1 themselves if they're like, you know what, this is a little hard for us.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll do that. We need to see how they make use of that teleport on Maple.
Well, now you got to look at the comms. Head over to Twitter. Who do you think will be victorious? Hashtag RNG win.
Or hashtag FW win.
That's right. Right now, I'm sure the RNG votes are going to be coming in. You can see they own the Rift. See if they can own it as they jump on. RNG versus Flash Wolves are into our second game of the day. The mid-season Invitational has been an absolutely amazing tournament, and it's only going to provide more here. Now the barn burner of RNG versus Flash Wolves. Let's get into it.
Yeah, and that Ignite from Mata is indicative that they're actually probably just going to take the lane and look for the outplay. There are ways to go around the Black Shield. Trading cooldowns is a concept that's very important. Black Shield, obviously, defensive spell generally have longer cooldowns. Mata, Jukes of Binding, 1-0. But yeah, that means that there's all-in potential, and they just want standard lanes. Otherwise, he would have opted into the exhaust for Maple.
Looking at how this game played out last time, Flash Wolves actually had a pretty good start, as they have had to most games, grabbing 2,000 gold leads here and there. Royal, however, we saw that once they see they're in that deficit, they'll actually be able to stall a gold lead out for quite a while. Find your error, which Flash Wolves' error was using too many resources on a gank for Looper. Looper lived, and that's all you need for RNG to take control of the map.
All right, let's see here. The blind swap here from RNG. So they are looking to dodge that matchup. NL and SwordArt, they were hesitating. It's like, yeah, will they go top? They flip the coin. They get the wrong answer. But this means that Flash Wolves can play another lane swap. And yesterday, they had a really quick, smooth lane swap where they used their tempo advantage to gank mid. So I need to see if Xiaohu is ready for that. Because yesterday, we had the Thresh flashing in on Xiaohu's Ryze. And that got them a kill. I believe even first blood. And that kind of snowballed Flash Wolves ahead. And that's why we saw the gold graph on the analyst desk. You know, 2,500, nearly 3,000 gold in the early game, 10, 15 minutes into the game.
And it almost becomes scarier here when you have a Morgana, because that's more of a, I can do this from the fog of war. Thresh doesn't have to show. And that roam could be quite quick. Now that we do have that lane swap coming out, it is going to be RNG to the top side. Flash Wolves staying with the bottom.
Yeah.
Karsa farming up on Graves versus Mlxg's Nidalee. Mlxg himself has been an absolute, like, pressure point for any jungler in this tournament. It's very hard to get around his pathing or stay away from him when he's pathing for you.
MSI is just a super strong jungler. Does a little bit of random stuff sometimes, but he makes it work. Right now we see both top laners.
Gotta be spicy, right? It's in his name.
Yeah, spicy hotpot. Leave their lanes. Top laners usually join the junglers for a little bit, but obviously Flash Wolves, they value tempo here. Want to get your top laner as soon as you can to that enemy turret, so you can start pushing. Looper picks up some experience on the way because he was denied just a little bit more. And this is where we start judging the lane swap. How well are they tanking the creeps in front of the tower, letting them hit it? How quick are they taking the tower down? Does it look like both teams have watched plenty of VODs.
Wuxx actually farming a little bit, so it's going to be a little bit later for that lane. But here we see in mid, 8 to 12 already. Maple trying to kind of step two and show Xiaohu some aggression, but he says, yeah, let's take it, let's dance.
And that's a standard laning pattern in the Ryze versus Azir matchup. There's a lot of creeps left in that minion wave though, so if Maple CS as well on their tower, they can do it. There's no lane ward here just yet. for RNG. Usually once you lane swap, you place that ward. I think that's exactly what MMD is doing it. So that ward is very important. So this ward decides when you push out. You always freeze in a lane swap. Because otherwise there are scenarios where you can get punished very hard. Let's not go into that too much. The laning pattern right now is he waits until he sees the enemy bot lane approach. Once he spots Lucian or the support, that's when MMD needs to clear out these minion waves as fast as he can and swap back. If he just blind pushes, there is a realm where Looper walks up and takes that farm and freezes the lane, and then suddenly you find yourself very far behind. That's why you always wait with the push.
MMD as well, the ward's up here as well for her.
Yeah. MMD actually started a little early. This is greedy, so he gets it. He gets the CS, but look at it. He started pushing before Wuxx kind of showed up. Maybe because they still spotted Looper in the top lane. They had some vision on him. That kind of prompted it, probably. We've seen teams actually take that wave, freeze it, hand it off to their top laner, but it costs so much tempo. So we're seeing just a mirror here. But it's Flash Wolves, again, a little bit ahead, and the value of that goes towards your top laner. He's the one with the most CS. So if you're gauging a lane swap, without watching at turrets, just watch a top laner CS, and that gives you a good metric of who's ahead in the lane swap, tempo-wise.
So what options are we seeing Flash Wolves? Obviously, we're at 4 minutes here, but is this a 6 minute? They want to try something with the teleports, or are we going to see them still scaling up against the squad?
Generally, in this lane swap, it's a very, especially in Europe, it's a very dull. I find it fascinating because the difference lies in details.
You're not dull, Crepo.
But the lane swap itself, it's a swap now, so they go to the both tier 1s. And again, tank the minions in front of the tower. Don't let them hit it.
Gentlemen's agreement.
Everybody hits the tower here. It's just borderline efficiency. Spells on minions, attacks on towers. And then we'll see the support and the jungler move to the Rift Herald here. 80 carry base, catch the next wave, or look to swap around. And then they use the Rift Herald on the bottom enemy tier 2 here. So that's the goal for RNG. That's actually a play that Fnatic made against them at IEM, where they didn't realize it. Let's see if they've adopted that strategy. Take Herald and go for tier 2 bot.
So as these things are going quite even, here's an odd question. If everything goes even throughout this, who actually comes out on top? Who is actually the better off team at even?
The team that picks up the Herald and gets a little advantage, because they traded for a Dragon, which isn't really worth much. But in this tournament, in this meta game, Dragons have actually started to become worth more and more and more. And actually, we see RNG here forgoing the Herald. So they're not going for the Herald play. They value quicker bases here, quicker pacing. And RNG just pick up the Dragon instead. I mean, Flash Wolves don't go for the...
Right, Flash Wolves have backed and actually sending down towards bot lane. And now is going to have to go pretty far out to clear this. Flash Wolves, instead of taking Herald, check to see Dragon dying.
Yep, I got so confused with RNG being the red team on blue side. These regional colors threw me off. But yeah.
I did it with warding earlier.
Especially when they're all swapping around the map. It's making poor old Crepo a little confused.
Well, now it seems like Flash Wolves is living on the blue side here. They're going to be heading out. Karsa makes his way back around, and he's going to leave RNG's side of the map here. They aren't leaving too early, though. They're making sure they got some wards.
So that's Flash Wolves not going for the Herald to stop the potential Dragon, but they arrived too late.
They think he's still there.
That's actually a net gain here for RNG overall. Not only do they get their favorite style, which is very early Dragon, they also don't lose a tier 2 in a bot lane like they did against Fnatic. So, good start for them.
Yep. So he kind of thought he was still there. They said, give me pressure, but a ward placed by SwordArt, meaning they kind of want to go hard on this bottom tier turret. RNG is going to notice this pressure. They're going to take the Rift Herald this time. Ooh. So objective favor here for RNG.
Yeah.
If Flash Wolves can't get second tier.
MMD wants to thin out this top wave as well as he can, because they're gonna boost that top wave with the Herald buff, hopefully to trade towers here.
Oh, there's a third.
Because that's exactly what they want to avoid here, just losing a free turret. But they're swapping all the way to the top side of the map. They have their teleport
easier when you have Rift-tailed Crepo.
Yeah, they need to dive him. MMD took so much smoke trying to clear out that wave, so it looks like an even trade here. A slower tower, but there's a Dragon and a Herald overall, so interesting lane swap.
Slowly stacking up. This is Karsa, obviously not a fast as farmer as Mlxg. He's 10 CS up. Almost every lane is here for RNG as they grab the objectives and turrets now.
Yeah, and the lane doesn't get bounced here because they value tempo, but look at Looper CS here. He is getting the short end of the stick.
He's got to pick.
He was trailing everything, and that's the downside of being behind in tempo in the swap here. You're the guy that gets to clean up the rest of the big meal, you know, the leftovers. That's Looper right now. He gets like gradual 4 CS here, couple here, and MMD, because he's the one in the driving seat, he's at 32 CS.
Even in the bot lane, you can see it's already thinning out before Looper can even reach it. Just giving the breadcrumbs all over the place this game. Where do they decide to go from here? Definitely pings going over onto the blue. It's just a setup breather moment. RNG has done quite a bit of work, as well as Flash Wolves, but we haven't seen them match up yet. They're gentleman's agreement, kind of just around the map, warding up, but the vision is also stopping the kills.
Yeah, it's more of a best play than an agreement, because I'm sure RNG...
That's a good point. That's a good one. I like that.
Don't really agree to let MMD have 20 extra CS. It's like, no. Please, I insist. But Flash Wolves did play that lane so pretty well, and RNG got value in objectives. They pay off later. But we need to see if Looper can get back into the game, because he is the main engaged, especially on that Poppy. Fantastic Poppy player overall. Week 1, Week 2 of the LPL, he started playing it already when RNG had a very, very skirmish-heavy compositions all the time. Very fun to watch.
We're still waiting for the TPs. Yeah. Those really have not taken off yet this game. We're just getting level 6, 7s, 8s around, so everybody feels a bit more confident. Supports at 4. Maybe kind of putting a wall on some things here before engaging.
Look at what NL is doing here. So usually pushing is always the right answer because you get sieged on. But he froze the wave and he's now handing it over to MMD. So what Flash Wolves is telling a story is that we really value our top laner being ahead. And then they want to defend the 3-man in the bottom lane here. If RNG can push through, they can punish here. But it looks like this defense should be doable with Black Shield and the Graves Caitlyn here. Yeah, good sidestep here. Black Shield is applied as well. So this is good for Flash Wolves here. They're out macroing RNG despite the gold loss. Gold lead overall 600 gold on RNG, but the position of the map.
That top wave right now is gigantic. It's 3.5 waves built up.
The risk is the mid lane tower though, because that's very hard to defend. So they need to see if they can channel their forces over there, because freezing on 2 lanes at once, what they're doing right now, may cost them a mid lane turret. And that's when RNG is going to pull ahead again, so... Greed.
They almost have enough time to go use that, as you were saying. A big hit, the Arcane Smash there from MMD to clear out the wave to say, all right, I get it. I've been here too long.
RNG is tired. He's like, MMD, you're freezing a little bit too much here, man. We want to help out Looper, so let's push in this wave. Let's take the towers later on. And they're just dancing around. And again, super slow on the side of NL. Like, this wave could have been pushed out already 30 seconds ago. He's taking his sweet time. He's like, oh, there's another wave coming. I guess I'll
gotta make sure I get all my calls, man.
Yep.
I gotta feed it.
But it comes at a cost of playing the map 4v5 here. Look, he teleport. Look from where he's teleporting from tier 1 to tier 2. That's like the Billy Boss teleport.
It's about sending a message, Crepo. It's about sending a message. 500 gold in the lead for RNG. 1 minute on to Dragon. See a few wards getting placed in that area, but RNG already pink wards down there, wards into the base, or I'm sorry, jungle of Flash Wolves. They pretty much know when everything is going on when it happens.
Yeah, but they're timing this wave with the Dragon, it seems like. So they want to push it out here. MMD went to base shops, so he's ready to teleport. We may see a big fight around that second Dragon, because RNG have put a high preference on it. Flash Wolves, they prioritized Dragon yesterday to their demise. Karsa tunneled very hard on trying to steal it. And Flash Wolves as a team had the collective plan of also fighting. So not only did they try to steal, they fought at the same time, and they lost horribly. 2 kills, 1 Dragon, and then the next Dragon was a clean ace, I believe. Or at least 4 kills, and that was it. That was game over. So Flash Wolves need to see if their Dragon decision-making has improved.
So a blast down the mid lane. Maple wants to clear that out. The team pings over. Let's set up a wall so Dragon is way too hard to grab. Clearing this pink ward obviously alerts RNG to the process of Flash Wolves.
Late Black
Shield. Be a pretty good game. Mata's pretty far away for this, and top lane is just poking each other, wet noodle fight status. Yeah. But these teleports are both up, and they can both stop each other.
Yeah, minion waves obviously very important when you're trying to contest objectives. Whoever's pushing has more like vision on the map, makes it a lot easier. That's why we see Lucian prioritize this push on the bottom. We'll see NL react. But now they had the control, had the wards, but because RNG, stronger poke, they control it right now, but we'll see a teleport flank here pretty soon from the Maokai, but RNG, they don't wait for that.
Poppy coming in from the right. Looper will be here in just a second. A flash over the wall. Mata stays alive with a triumphant roar. And it looks like Looper and Xiaohu now partying it up on the side of the map that the rest of the team wishes they were on for the kills. Dragon's going to be RNG's.
Yeah, and that's the difference here in terms of planning here. Flash was like, okay, we're going to do this, and then you'll teleport in. Let's look for a ward. And while they're discussing their game plan, RNG just completely wrecks them. It's like, okay, guys, let's go in Leroy style. Take one down, take the Dragon.
It's time.
By the time Flash Wolves finish their plan, the Dragon's already gone. And now RNG is ahead. And looking to capitalize even more. So that's the beauty of their play. They don't wait for you to plan out your plays. they just take you down. Look at Mata here, instant engage, doesn't care about potential black shield. Everybody follows up, and
doesn't
he flashes
care about
out.
level 6 either.
Nope.
Wow. Goes in strong, keeps himself alive. And a mid-turret waiting to be picked up here. Still level 5 on that Alistar. And left up by Flash Wolves with a heavy focus on Wuxx with 280 carries and that Kindred. An interesting choice for their picks and bans here. It hasn't really hurt him too much, but definitely didn't help in that engage that they couldn't have anything better for it. 1-0. 14 minutes in, RNG is going to actually start denying resources from Flash Wolves here right under their nose.
Yeah, and that's RNG. Flash Wolves had a very top-heavy approach. It's like, okay, let's snowball this matchup in terms of CS. They played their minion waves very slow, but RNG, when they group, it doesn't matter who has the resources because everybody is individually strong enough to make the play. If Looper is weaker, he'll be more utility, and other laners will step up and carry for him. When he's strong, he can solo carry games too. That's the beauty of it, and they always do it in group team fights. Led, spearheaded by Mata. That combo right there. Many supports would just wait, go for the poke. It's like, okay, we have the zone control. Let them walk into us and punish. Mata doesn't care about that. He just goes in.
Oh, Burr's the word. Oh, Emperor's Divide just misses. Prison is forced to be cleansed off there. Actually, very good timing on spells from either side. But the Shurima Shuffle, almost said Shuffle, allows him to get out alive.
Xiaohu with an uncharacteristic mistake here. Not really used to seeing that. Missing an ulti.
Good for Flash Wolves to get that back. Same thing happened from RNG, so they are not just kind of bowing out of these situations. You get one, we'll take it as well. 2 dragons, however, in favor of RNG does start to be a worry if they can continue to stack those up because the fights have been in their favor. And it's something we've seen Flash Wolf kind of take even more is wanting to fight a dragon. Now they almost can't.
And this is where we might see Flash Wolves lose a little bit of pressure on the map here with that mid lane tower.
Okay.
But then be able to farm 3 lanes instead of 2. A 4-1 composition very often is only farming 2 lanes, while the 1-3-1 will be getting gold on all 3. You see Ryze step in though, no more farming, no more flanking with teleport, just straight up walking to the mid lane to try and help here. So RNG, despite playing against a 1-3-1, is forcing their enemy to match the 4-1. Ryze could be bottom right now, split pushing. So look, Maple just lost about 30 seconds of
walking back and forth.
Decision making. Because he's like, indecisiveness. It's like, what do I do, guys? Do you need me? Yes, no? Can you tell me? Can I farm? Can I push?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you need to avoid. Because when you play 1-3-1, you need to predict what's going to happen. You need to look at the screens like, in the next minute, they're going to do this.
Right.
We'll answer with this, or I should have never even been here.
Yeah. And
that is the difference. And that's still what Flash Wolves are working on. And obviously, when you don't get challenged as hard in the LMS, you get away with things, you never get punished. But RNG is almost one of the best teams in the world right now when it comes to punishing windows of opportunity.
Right now, a 3,000 gold lead. We mentioned in the beginning, that's actually how they got back on Flash Wolves last time. Flash Wolves focused so much. 3-4 members just onto Looper. Looper, great at living in those situations. What does RNG do? Take mid, put resources in the jungle and vision, and continue to escalate that into a victory. Here, Flash Wolves has kind of been very safe in those engages. They haven't thrown themselves too far forward, but they're also playing from behind and playing reactively. So very slow movements here as they start to get that vision to try and make these kills possible for themselves.
Yeah, look at the Mata is isolating bot tier 2, while Flash Wolves rather are looking for the top tier 2 here. Deep vision in each jungle. Azir can fend for himself a lot easier because he can pop out a turret than 1v2. So there's double pressure here for RNG. Single lane pressure for Flash Wolves. And that's why we'll probably see Flash Wolves base here because they're behind on the play. You can't afford to go for that play when the game state is where it's at right now. NL gets booted out too, so this is really big here for RNG.
Very nicely done. Xiaohu putting up the Sun Disc actually outside, so RNG has a base on the side of Flash Wolves now. They may be able to fight under this. It looks like Looper is actually going to start waltzing over while clearing some waves. And they're kind of going to take a breather on this one.
Yeah, cheeky little black shield there on the Maokai. They were ready to punish him, but then he comes out looking all blue.
Not this time.
Not this time, but they lose 1 turret in the bot lane for nothing. They lose 3/4 of their mid lane turret, and they have to use a TP here. So Flash Wolves, they're not reading the game. They're reacting to what RNG is doing. And a 1-3-1 team versus 4-1 should be in the driving seat. Else it's going to get very rough here. We have to give props to RNG, though. They're playing phenomenally well.
Yeah, I was just going to say to Looper himself as well, closing that CS gap, making sure he's in the right place at the right time. Well, Flash Wolves has been prioritizing huge waves to MMD. Still able for Looper to come back here. Doesn't have his distortion boots yet. May would like those for the more plays. MMD is looking to get himself down and dirty quite soon. Looks like he's going to get what he asked for. Teleport just behind him as well. That's going to be Looper. And the 2v1 just for fun is about to start.
Maple's coming in.
Ding, ding. Here comes another challenger. It is going to be the teleport coming in from Maple. MMD says, you got this fight for now until the rest of the team comes. And it is going to be a 4v1 now as they turn it. Quick rotations from RNG, seeing the possibilities in the bot lane. And 20 minutes in. Whoa! MMD flashes forward, vengeful maelstrom pop, and he is able to get a kill for himself onto Whoosh. The fight's going to continue as they push down the lane. 18 minutes in, this is the moment that RNG was able to just take hold of the last game, and once again, they bite down on Flash Wolves.
Slow reaction by the Flash Wolves here. RNG initiating the play, make one, pick off, make it two, make it three. Mlxg ends that play with a triple kill, and everybody's on the same page here for the Chinese squad here in Shanghai. The crowd is going wild, and they're playing fantastic League of Legends. Look at here, MMD singled out, teleports already. Looper's already there, and Maple is just teleporting in. MMD starts his fight on 20%. Whoosh is so lucky to survive on a sliver of health here. Maokai comes in with the finish, no binding lands, and at this point, the fight is already over. Xiaohu is 1v2ing now. Look, he goes over the wall. He does a really sick shuffle. You couldn't see it on your screen, but he shuffled all the way from the pink ward in the river over with the QE combo to then get access to the backline. Fantastic play here from Xiaohu too.
Woo. What a fight. Also, Karsa in that, you saw the collateral damage come over the wall. It may not have been a shot he's ever taken before because the damage doesn't reach. It didn't even touch Whoosh. He had healed, and then the damage didn't even come through, so they're just unfortunate situations there.
Behind on the play. They're trying to catch up here.
Exactly. You do things you normally wouldn't.
Yeah, because RNG just leave you no time to think. Usually you have about 5 seconds to figure out how a play's going to go, and then you use that time to make a calculated decision, then you make that decision. RNG gives you a second.
Woo! Oh, my Mlxg coming in late on that one, and it looks like he was cleaning up the HP bars for last hits, but there was mostly damage there for him. 28-15, doubling some of the damages there on the Flash Wolves.
Yeah, and this is where Flash Wolves
tripling
are regretting some of the early decisions. They lacked, or they gave up map control at the benefit for freezes and accelerating certain members of their team, mainly MMD on that Maokai. But that means they gave RNG the push, and Mlxg did something really smart throughout the game. He kept stealing resources from the enemy jungle with the Nidalee pick. Make it say, well, you're getting more farm in your lanes. Well, I'm going to take your jungle at least, somewhat equalize that out. And we'll get Lupa back into the game. RNG did that. He has even CS, probably even more gold overall. Yeah, he's sitting on a 500 gold lead overall. So everybody's in a good spot here for RNG.
They play with the lead very well is what I want to say. Wrong start of words as we see the top lane. Just 20 minutes in and we see RNG trying to start these solo fights, knowing that they will be the stronger to continue walking up. They will be the stronger with the current position on the map, and they haven't been wrong yet.
Yeah, Malta's Alistar is always there, 100% kill participation. It was Looper starting this off. Mlxg too, 80% kills on the entire game. Yes, it's 4 out of 5. It's not very much. It doesn't really matter. You know, the numbers make it look fancy, but RNG are looking like a team here, and they're looking honestly more impressive. And this is a team that they're playing against that is favored for second place.
Yep. Absolutely, possibly even first if they were able to come out in these games very strong, but RNG not going to let that happen. The confidence that they're playing with, the confidence everybody follows the initiations up on, are really causing respect from Flash Wolves. They're kind of turning it back to these fights sometimes, knowing they can't save a member, when in reality, you're in your base. You almost have to go for broke there. They do let the inhibitor turret go down, choosing the better of the worst in that situation. They don't lose the inhibitor just yet, so they have something to fight for, but not looking good.
And this went quick, because we started talking how RNG had a small gold lead, but the waves were in favorable positions.
Right.
But the towers were exposed.
They were setting up everything.
And RNG then took those towers down, and they punished Flash Wolves for a very greedy approach to the lane swap, despite Flash Wolves having momentum. It all started with them foregoing the Rift Herald to stop the dragon. RNG took the dragon anyways.
Yeah. And
then they started freezing these lanes, but suddenly 10 minutes later, we're looking at a 7,000 gold lead. 68 of that, or whatever it is the Grump right now, that Mlxg just stole. And it's actually, yeah, phenomenal how quick this went. They make it look easy. It's like you're watching a game. Okay, yeah, this guy, yeah, he's getting cordoned in, he's dying. Okay, the teleport's coming in. Okay, I can see that this guy is doomed, but they're playing against a world-class team. The first one in their region completely dominated the LMS, 6-0 in their playoff matches. 50 kills versus 16 when they played against AHQ.
And a stark difference from the first time these teams played each other. Those Flash Wolves with a 2K lead at around 15 minutes, 5-3 kills in their favor. That's flopped. 5-1 in favor of RNG. And forget about that gold lead. 7,000 right now. What will they decide to do next? Really, the inhibitor in the mid is open, but they can toy right now with the fact of a Baron being baited and just blowing summoners, blowing a teleport, getting something they want before they engage.
And who's going to stop RNG in this tournament? Will SKT bounce back?
That's a very good question.
Or will we need some good old faith to see that happen?
With their win, the confidence might be there. Chronologic Gaming coming back a little bit in it as well, but you're seeing teams like SKT as well falter at tournaments like this.
Mata is angry. This game should have been over already.
He's getting angry. It's definitely concerning. Shows you that even the best can make mistakes, and it's hard to come back from those mistakes. Right now, RNG is failing to make mistakes.
It's actually the ultimate BM. It's like, you see these flash? I don't need it. Spell Rise? Don't need it. Nah, little mistake here. But that happens. When you look for plays at the edge of your reach and even a little farther, then sometimes, yeah, somebody will step out and you're mashing WQ. That's very often. Even Mata makes that mistake. Everybody in solo queue be happy. But that just shows you,
he's human.
Aside from how that was an error, it just shows his mentality. He's constantly on the lookout for this guy, he's dead. And he knows his team will follow up, because if you do that in an uncontrolled environment, the guy will just walk away.
That's going to be up by Baron. A quick walk down. Mata is the one to engage once again. They're going to try to go on to him. Xiaohu coming from the backside. Do they decide to go in? They are getting routed as well by SwordArt. He would have been able to bind somebody coming in on the caboose there. So they back off. Mata goes down, and RNG find themselves in a tight spot here.
Good punish from Flash Wolves. They noticed the Flash was down. It was very hard not to notice. Instant teleport. They go for a fight here because gold deficit. They need a numbers advantage. But RNG look very comfortable fighting it. Look at the zone control. Soldiers, spears, we're going in!
NL right next to it. MMD and Karsa get pushed off. They're able to focus down onto Wuxx, but then they're back onto NL and SwordArt. The bot lane is down and the DPS has been deleted now for Flash Wolves. A double kill coming in for Xiaohu. He's going to look for another one, but Looper will pick that up. It does not mark MMD, but I don't think Mlxg is going to give up on this one. Spicy Hot Pot never gives up, and he's going to be going for this one. That's an inhibitor going down. Bot lane, minion wave in place for RNG to get even more. Do they even need to go for it? They may, just to pull another minion wave here, as the middle one won't be good enough for 2 Nexus turrets.
Yeah, 2 inhibs will likely go down here. SwordArt spawns. Maybe they forgo the second one if they want to be a little bit careful. Yeah, RNG playing on the side of caution here, because they don't need to. 10,000 gold lead here. Good punish by Flash Wolves. But then again, they didn't know what to do after the punish. They paced back and forth. He's like, yeah, we should teamfight them. How? Look at these soldiers whacking away. Then the strike here. The entire backline gets hit. Xiaohu can cleanse out. And whoosh, yes, he dies. He dies with 2 summoners. That's maybe a mistake, but the teamfight convincingly won. 4v5. That was another spear.
Oh my god, Mlxg
coming in, and then the chase here. And from the backline, Xiaohu, you know, wearing his slippers very comfortably, sliding left and right. Taking everybody down.
Static shock when he gets there. Little bzz. How's that feel? He's got his wool socks on today. He's doing some damage. 205. Nashers into that Ryze as well. There you go.
That is a 2v5.
5,600 damage. Thanks for the help, Whoosh.
Whoosh.
Thanks for the help.
Timeout.
Yeah.
When you talk about your role, you're a marksman.
NL is that low because of Mlxg and Xiaohu's soldiers. It's so hard to be an AD carry against this composition, and we've seen it. SwordArt drops just as fast.
And that's something I just enjoy so much. Watching teams know that despite being down a man or a couple summoners or whatever, you know, they just gauge whether they can win a fight or not. And that ironically was one of SKT's biggest strengths, especially when there was a very dragon-focused meta. So often we saw them lose 1 member, but turn it around with some sick rumble ultis, whatever, you know, like these really good condensed team fights around objectives. And RNG right now, they use the zone control from their soldiers so well. Mata right now is trying to keep out Karsa. He's playing goalkeeper. Karsa can steal though.
Doesn't get it. Getting in the black shield was the right idea. They're on to Maple. Looper and Mata can keep themselves alive in that 2v3. They'll be perfectly fine. They call the team over actually to engage the 2v3, and now it's a 5v3 as you see. Maple has to run out of this. Karsa only from the side throwing water balloons, and that's not going to do much. NL will be going down here. The AD carry is the toughest job against this composition, and they're feeling it right now. MMD goes back in. He's on the Mata for the headbutt, but Mata actually just pulls him into a worse spot there.
The instant reactions and turns in this team fight, instantaneous shot calling, target selection here. RNG completely on fire here. They get the Dragon, they get the Baron, they get everything they want. They're looking for the Nexus.
Mlxg, ring around the rosy. Is he going to be able to make it out? Flash jump. He's safe to go. They're on the Nexus. RNG looking to stay undefeated here in Shanghai. And just listen to that crowd as the Nexus goes down. RNG take down Flash Wolves.
Actually, beautiful to see the crowd here light up. All these thundersticks going up. Cheers here for Mlxg, who managed to make it out there. They made it look easy, but impressive at the same time.
I feel like Flash Wolves dug themselves a bit of a hole with so many bans against the AD carry, trying to focus that Twitch Kindred composition. And you can hear the crowd. They owned the Rift.
That's just fantastic. That has to feel so great. That is what every pro gamer out there plays for. Moments like this when you can be on the big stage, doing well in a tournament against all expectations, and then having the crowd cheer your team name. That is just absolutely fantastic.
It's like, I love that point, because I don't think most people think about it. You are being internationally cheered on by your home crowd. An amazing feeling, and an easy catalyst to continue going undefeated.
Yeah, it is very understated. I mean, not many people get the chance to experience it even, and it's just, yeah, it just feels so damn good. And they can be happy, and they've worked so hard for this. So many hours in the practice, you know, in a solo queue, so much work that people don't see at the outset. Yeah, these guys are playing video games. Yeah, all they have to do is play, but it's such a taxing environment, so rough here to lose. But then when you win in front of this crowd and they cheer it, it's so bloody fantastic.
The mental and physical, so on par for RNG. Royal Never Give Up coming into this tournament and absolutely giving the LPL something to cheer about. A region that fell flat last year at international tournaments when it came down to it. This is what they needed this year.
And they need one more win and then just lock in straight up first place. That's it for RNG. And
that's absolutely ridiculous.
It's so easy for them to win one more game. They have 3 more remaining. 1 out of 3, I can easily see it. They could easily go the full 10-0.
The math is there.
The math is there. It's possible, guys. Ran it in my head. They played 1 game today. They played 2 each day. That means 1 more remaining and 2 more tomorrow. I've done it. 100%.
But how much more pressure does that put on the other teams for the expected second-place team as well to go down that hard to RNG, who just is not stopping their momentum?
I don't think you care about second. You care about second or third, but you sure as hell don't want to be 4th. Yeah. I mean, at this point, teams are praying to get out against SKT. That's the state of the tournament. Are they really hoping that SKT plays 4th? Yeah. And they can dodge it, and then at least you have a path into finals? So that's what CLG is hoping for.
It's weird. Sure. Got one more question before we go. Maybe the analyst desk can answer it. Did you give Mata Alistar? We'll see. Don't know. Yes. Right now, we're going to throw it to Dash and the guys at the analyst